Morning, YouTubers. It's B bugging out. Just giving a little update on the high build primer that I've been putting on. And you get to a point where you just have to decide to stop sanding and start spraying again. And I went ahead and put a lot of time into block sanding the epoxy primer, and decided that I'm just going to have to lay down the high build and hope for the best and find, and I knew I was going to find additional spots on the panels that are going to have to be worked out even more before base coat, clear coat. But so I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the things that happened to me today, this morning, on the deck lid here. I'm sure if you go back in my older videos, you'll see that this thing was pretty beat to crap. It was beat up pretty bad, and I can't expect this to be perfect, especially with my lack of experience, but I'm trying hard to get it as nice as possible, because whenever I go to car shows, for some reason I'm always paying attention to the deck lids, and I think over the years a lot of attention's been given to them because there's so many different styles of them. And you can kind of gauge what year a vehicle is off, as far as Volkswagens go, off of the deck lid. Everybody knows that the classics, the early 50s, have the full W imprinted onto the deck lid. And this is a early 60s deck lid, and the W starts to come down but doesn't quite complete out. And then even the later models, this doesn't even come down this far, and I believe on even later models in the 70s, I don't think this is even here. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but anyhow, I'll show you some of the spots that I still have to work out. I was hoping and praying that I wouldn't have to go this route, but as you can see, there's some spots right in here. There's a little divot that I'm going to have to work out, and for some reason I had spattering happen when I started spraying. I got some droplets that flew off of the tip somehow. I guess I should have checked the tip before I started spraying again to make sure there weren't any boogers hanging on there, but I got some snot on the panel, so I'm going to have to work that out, obviously. And if I can get it to show up, there's a spot in here that's still got somewhat of a dent in here. Or this could even be just from using the wrong sanding tools to try to shape this area out. There is a little bit of a curvature to this, and if you guys have some suggestions on how to get stuff like that out, I'd appreciate it. My previous experience, which doesn't mean it's right, tells me to just sand that down a little bit and put some finishing putty over the top of it to try to get it out. But with this high build, I'm not sure if that'll sand out or not. And like I said, suggestions on the types of tools to use, whether it's a flat block or a more flexible flat block, or a small broken paint stick with sandpaper wrapped around it. Whatever you guys can tell me how to best work this area out. But overall, the rest of the panel is looking pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with it, and I believe at this point I'm going to be moving up into some finer grit sandpaper. I did all this before I sprayed it with the high build. It was I believe 220. I'll make sure I'm not lying to you. Yeah, 220 is what I used on this, and I believe I'll be moving up to, I'm not sure, I think I'm going to 400 or so next. But I'm curious if I'm going to have to reblock this area, if I should just do 220 and then go back to 220 and then 400 after I believe it's smoothed out. So let me know what's best for that. I'd appreciate it very much. But that's the deck lid. It's got 2 wet coats on there, and I have to give a shout out to Darren. I watched some of his older videos on the high build, Matrix high build, and people were having a lot of problems with not getting a silky smooth finish on here. I believe this is pretty darn good for Harbor Freight spray gun. And I'll be honest, the first time I sprayed some of this high build, it did get quite a bit of orange peel and dry. Got kind of dry and dusty on me, and so I went back and watched some of VW Darren's videos, which is what it's all about, guys, is being able to search the libraries and watch some of Darren's suggestions on how to adjust your gun and how to mix the paint. And I'll tell you what I did the first time that's probably wrong, or didn't give me the best results, is I went ahead and mixed my primers 4 to 1, and but what I didn't do with my gun is I didn't turn the fan, I believe it's the fan, in 3/4 of a turn, like Darren does on his gun. I know it's a totally different brand of gun, but doing that and adjusting the pattern a little more, take a little more time to adjust the pattern and pressures, really made a difference. And I got closer into the panels too, you know. Normally I go about, you know, end of thumb to end of pinky finger distance when I'm spraying, and I probably cut that down to almost, you know, cut that down about 25-30%, got closer to the panel and just hammered it on. That's what it does, man. It gets wet and it lays out, and it's a better result. So you gotta appreciate everything we do for each other. It's valuable. So